Welcome back, Dawn Hunters. I'm Captain William.
And I'm Yana. And make sure you stop whatever you're doing, which means watching us, and hit that subscribe button. We want to get to 100,000 subscribers.
We have been called the craziest couple on YouTube because we've gone from a trawler to a monohull to a catamaran and now our aluminium dreamboat.
Our new aluminum catamaran is being upgraded for off-grid use.
We are on the 4th month of a 3-month refit, and you guys in boating know what that means.
And in this episode,
we're coming up for ways to keep Yana clean on the inside of the boat.
if that is even possible. I'm so dirty, inside out.
Not inside out.
Why not?
Cut the inside out.
He said it nasty, don't cut it out. Now when I'm working on all the pretty stuff, I get the job for removing all the old insulation. Why do I always get the nasty jobs? Is it all set up? Is something
Yep.
shoot on me? And how am I going to do it? Like this?
Yep.
Do I feel like there is a technique to this? You want to tell me how to use this tool?
So this guy is a multi-tool vibrator and it's got a blade on the end of it. So you push the blade up under the insulation and pull as you go. You know, kind of like, I think, cleaning teeth. Let me show you.
I got it!
Yeah, she listens and something. And why are we having to remove all this insulation?
Yeah, why? I have to, like, why?
There's going to be a bulkhead door here that's going to let us go to the front cabin through the shower. So we have a place to store all the extra food and things. Okay.
Well, you can just do it.
Got it?
Easy. I will see. You know, it's like cutting with electric knife the turkey. And in Russia, we don't have electric knives, by the way. So the first time I came to US, William introduced me to electric knives. So this is very similar. Nice little turkey.
Who always cuts the turkey? So the blade is not on the side, it's only on the front.
I figured that.
So when you cut, you can't go like this. See you in an hour. I'm gonna go do some other stuff. Have fun. We're also building a shower box in the front, so all the water will go into that box and then be pumped out. So if the pump has a problem, we can still take a shower, let all that water go into the box, and then manually remove it. Because otherwise, on our last couple of boats, if the pump out didn't work, we couldn't take any showers, and even the water had nowhere to go. So this is going to give us kind of a backup plan. It sounds good on paper. Now we're going to make it work inside of here. We decided to use this diamond decking plate for the front shower and also in some parts of the master head. So the whole area is going to be mixed between using this for the floor. Also, I'm building the box for the head. So it sits a little bit higher because they're small. So when you sit on them, you actually have them raised up a little bit, and that also gives you place for the plumbing to disappear underneath the floor. What I've realized the hard way is that I could not get decking down here after I cut it. It was too large to go through the door. So I had to roll it in a circle with come-alongs and make it tight and get it down here and then unspring it. Luckily, I have found out that I need to build all these things and then put the bulkhead wall in, or otherwise they wouldn't be getting in here. It becomes pretty apparent with an aluminium boat that you have to learn how to weld, because if you're going to do additions or changes, well, you can't keep running to somebody. So I've been practicing and I finally have gotten most of the technique down. This is called TIG welding with a TIG torch and an aluminum filler rod. And this tank is going to be actually upside down. You're not even going to see these welds, but they keep the water inside like a water tank. So this shower box is about finished. I just have to put the drain in the bottom. It's been a bit of a challenge because I had to build it to fit inside with the correct angles, and I didn't want anything to be collecting or standing in water or anything. So what I've done is I've used angle iron and then took some of the soundproofing aluminum that was anodized already out of the engine compartment and then cut that so it sits on top a little bit below the edges. Water will go through our feet and collect in the bottom, and then it's going to go over into an area that is kind of like a well. So we've got the diesel tank and we've got the freshwater tank, and then we have this well for the bilge pump and other items. That's where the shower water goes, and then you have a choice either to pump it out directly or hold it into that tank area and then pump it out with the bilge pump. So it's a little bit strange. I'm going to test it. I guess this is better than having an additional tank because it's actually an area between two real tanks. Let's see how that's going to work, and if everything else all fails, I can always do what everybody else does with gray water, is leave the pump running when you take a shower. I'm building the base for the shower that will not only collect the water, but then also drain into a secondary tank. And this is going to have a secondary floor. Got to get this thing done so I can put the walls up.
Why is this toilet raised up?
So when you stand here, it's at the right height for the guys.
The guy or guys?
Guys.
Guys?
Guys.
Oh, those guys.
The guys.
Okay, I thought some other guys that are visiting. Did you actually build a shower or a bathtub? Because this looks pretty high.
Actually, it's going to be a raised area that has these holes. So we're going to always be standing above, and the water is going to go directly down, so we're never standing in anything wet.
Let's hope those new welding skills are good.
Now that Yana has gotten all this insulation off, I'm going to take a perfectly good watertight bulkhead wall, cut a hole in it, and then take the aluminum that I've used from the hole and then fabricate a watertight door. So we will have access to this complete front locker, which is huge. So storage of dry goods, rice, canned food, water, things that we wouldn't necessarily be going outside, up under the hatch and down back into the room for, we'll be able to still have up here and access it through the shower. In laying out the design of the forward bulkhead watertight door, I realized that there are certain standard sizes and a very long lead time and weight. So what I did is designed a way to cut out the existing aluminum and use that to actually make the watertight door that goes right back into its place. So we're not adding really much weight, but adding a huge benefit of being able to access front storage area, but still maintaining its watertight capabilities. I'm going to take another perfectly good part of the boat and cut a hole in it. I have this little trim saw by Bosch. I have been cutting all of the aluminum with it, even if it's like 10 millimeter thick, or in this case, a small sheet. Problem is that it doesn't really have a guard on it, so you have to be like super careful that it doesn't kick back on you. But this has been a lifesaver in cutting all this aluminum. Well, this is going to be a nasty ass job, I can tell you that. This door better be worth it. There's no turning back now. We're going to have a doorway, watertight, dogleg, sealed to the now front storage locker, or an extension to the shower. So I decided to use the angle grinder and an aluminum cutting wheel because it makes a much thinner line. It's not as dangerous, and I don't want to leave a finger in the bottom of the hole. I want to go out and get a little fresh air. Now the rounded parts that keep the door strong GRID jigsaw. Okay, I was curious to see if there was some structural, I guess, integrity or structural part of this front bulkhead. As I assume, there is a small bit of torsion there, so the bulkhead door needs to be not only sealed from water, but also to be as strong as what was removed. Hopefully this door is going to open from the other side. We have a door. Now I don't have to worry about crawling out of here. I can just go that way. Well, this opens up a whole new room for storage, access, and another way to escape if we have to. New door officially has been born. What used to be a bulkhead will become a door. I'm going to be welding rails around it and stiffeners. The ladder's going to come off and I'm going to put it on the side of the front deck cabin so we have a way to get in and out, but not going to be impeded by the door. This guy is heavy. Maybe 10 or 12 millimeter plate. Definitely the proper watertight bulkhead thickness. And the back wall sheet where the door is now installed. So those will go inside the shower box. So all the water is going to run into that one location. So I've got the throne pedestal or the head box, I don't know what you want to call it, already situated so the plumbing can come out the bottom. I've welded the aluminum side plates so that we don't have any cracks or any openings. Most interesting part of all of this, it's going to be the temperature of the water. Because a friend has asked, what about, is that going to be cold on your feet? Because this is all connected to the hull, if we are going to be in very cold locations, upper latitude, lower latitude, then we'll put rugs on the floor. But right now, that temperature is actually going to be kind of cool because it's going to be like we're standing in the water. All right, continue building this beast because we have a schedule to get this boat back in the water. The whole bathroom is going to have this same material on the floor and then mixed with wood. So if we want to wash down the whole bathroom or if water is splashed over from the shower, you don't have it getting into the wood. Plus the aluminum is really super light but strong. So it's going to allow us to move some of the weight that we offset with some of the wood that a lot of you guys have asked about. Let's take a look at Yana's shower. So the master plan here is to have a complete aluminum shower box and walls, and then also the door into the front storage area, which is a watertight door. Marine heads are a lot shorter. They're built on top of a box, so if you're sitting on there doing your homework, then your feet and your knees aren't up by your ears. At the same time, it gives a place for the plumbing to exit underneath, so you don't have all that plumbing on the outside. Right now I'm designing the wall and the head box so we don't have these cracks along the side. So again, keeping everything clean, and cracks means that you don't have a bunch of mess to be digging out later on. I am super pumped because the panels have arrived back from the shop. Shout out to AME Marine here. Using the core material, same as what I'm using on the countertop, which has strength and durability.
It's light and it's strong. Kind of strong. Maybe I'm kind of strong.
Hopefully we never have that position. So now each one of the bulkhead dividers has been laminated with 2 parts of fiberglass and epoxy, so they remain extremely light, but now very strong, which means that I can drill into them, sand them, paint them. All of the walls and all the shelving in both port and starboard weighs less than 2 of the doors that I removed.
Because we're so concerned about the weight on our boat so it doesn't sink when we put it in the water, we found this material that is used for coring boats. After the bulkheads have been cut, then this whole thing gets 2 parts of epoxy and fiberglass to make it durable and strong. And still light. Ooh, very light. Maybe we can use this as a surfboard. I'm not gonna try. You guys know how I break things. After this process, it gets cut and painted, and then William can install it. Shout out to AMA Marine for providing the materials and doing the fiberglass work because we hate to itch.
Because of galvanic corrosion and bimetal issues on an aluminum boat, all the plumbing and all the fitting is all out of non-metallic material. And it's irrigation designed, so it's very robust, very strong. It's also able to be removed and serviced whenever we need to. Blackwater plumbing was a little bit of a challenge because there were two tiny Blackwater tanks, but most of it wasn't able to be pumped out. I'm not going to go into that issue, but I found these actually extruded tanks that will fit inside. I'll still have a discharge at the bottom, but now at the top, I'll be designing a pump out vacuum system for the port and the starboard. And we'll be able to hold twice as much black water until we get to the next pump out. So we have plenty of storage now for that ugly stuff. So the Blackwater plumbing, by installing the tank here and then putting the shelving unit over the top, we'll still be able to gain access to it. Out the top, I can then do a pump out line next to the port hole. And then from the bottom, we have a waste dump gate. This is fed by the head of the toilet. There's a tank inside that allows us to either pump fresh water into the tank or we pump salt water in the tank. So we have a choice of either flushing the head with salt water or with fresh water. Now what I was talking about is that we have a tank that I'm standing on right now, which is a freshwater tank, and Yana is standing on a fuel tank. Between the two of those is another tank, which is a water well. And in that tank is where the water collects. Anything that might leak through the boat anywhere all ends up in the middle of this well. So make sure you check out the past videos of us doing a boat tour so you can get a little bit of a better layout of what this was before we started. But a quick overview is that we have 420 liters of fuel on both port and starboard that's built inside the hulls with a double skin. We have 420 liters of capacity for fresh water on both port and starboard. And then in between the two tanks, there's a round water well that goes down into a box that is actually surrounded by the lower sacrificial keel. So all the water from the boat or anything that might leak, and likewise from the shower, the gray water then flows into this tank, or you can switch a valve and it'll pump it out. So you have a choice of putting all your shower water in the bilge, or you pump it out based on where you are. All comes to one location, so there's only one bilge pump in this center location. By having the front be a complete watertight bulkhead and the engine room being a watertight bulkhead, those each have their own separate bilge pumps. So essentially we have a very safe watertight boat and we can check everything just from this one location. So on the floor we've designed acrylic and a light underneath. So with a flip of a light switch we'll be able to look in this water well and find out whether we're leaking, bilge pumps are running, alarms, etc. I've also added level sensors to the fuel tanks, the water tanks, and also the Blackwater tanks. So on the Victron we can see what level we have for water, fuel, Blackwater. We can keep those very low for adjusting the weight of the vessel.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you didn't hit that subscribe button and you're watching, now is the time because this is the last time to do this. Also remember about the like button existence.
Keep those comments coming because it actually does give us some ideas, and some of these that we're going to implement we'll be discussing in future episodes.
Yes, make sure to comment. We love reading your comments. Bye. See you in the next episode.